Alyssa here with sharing a little bit of the update of my husband. So some of you guys may have heard that he is going through some different health issues. First with sinus in his left sinus, had a cyst, had it removed, found out that he had a cyst in his brain. We're still waiting on a second opinion about that. It's very much one of those type of cysts in the brain that seems to be okay to be there, as a lot of other specialists will just have it removed. It's rather larger than compared to other individuals who have found to have symptoms or no symptoms. This one is kind of like a sudden potential risks in physical exertion. So it's been keeping him calm. Being autistic, he has some meltdowns, so trying to keep him calm and has been really challenging. He also had heart problems and had surgery, which was a day service, a day procedure that he ended up having to spend the night. Anyway, thankfully, I'm grateful for that, to have just a break, as I've been a PCA for him unofficially for like at least the last 3 years. He had been working for a year in 2023, from January to January of 2024, and then he's been struggling since then. And I can see him, declining at a very slow rate. And right now it's just been seemingly, steadily declining. And I tend to think this is related to the cyst and having that in his brain and not being able to sleep, because it helps that where it is affects the brain to know the day and the night, and when to sleep and when to be awake. So before we put him on into the research ourselves, because doctors want to be unfortunately unhelpful, I had to do some research and found out that this is what it's related to, and put him on some over-the-counter melatonin, and he's been able to sleep better. But he still sleeps on like 4 to 5 hours sleep, and he normally does about 8 hours prior to this. And so this has been going on for quite some time, and had some tests for to check things out, and he finally was able to get a PCA and get some services, and that is alone a process that takes time and patience, and having the communication with the county, getting that assessment, to communicating with the PCA companies, and now you have to work with 2 PCA companies in our state. So it's a whole ordeal of challenge. But just recently, my husband said that he's just trying to come to terms with the fact that his cognitive ability to hear speech and understand it beyond just a few words. I used to get frustrated because he'd give me 2 words and then he would just jump at it. Being already diagnosed with ADHD, that can be well, I already know your answer, so I'm going to go run and do it. And yet he misses the mark because he's doing something that I wasn't going to talk about, and it's been frustrating. But he just opened up today that he's been having a hard time just coming to terms with the cognitive ability to understand the things that is being spoken to. He listens to music, but watching things might take him a while to understand what's going on. So going to church, listening to a sermon is very challenging. Talking to me is very challenging. I have to catch up with him, and it's very rapidly happening at a fast rate, where I don't know where he is from day to day. And I've never experienced that. I've worked with autistic kids and just meeting where they're at, and where they're at is generally where they're at. They don't change dramatically from day to day. There might be a situation where maybe their home life was rapidly different from one day to another, and that's more of an emotional state. We're talking about cognitive state, that's a whole different situation. And to work in PCA work, group homework, and you're getting updates in their reports, having people work with them steadily, getting assessments, and my husband not getting that, and I getting that report, makes it extremely hard for someone like me who is in my position as a spouse, as a wife, who is doing my darndest to help him, give him support. And I'm here to share that you're not alone if you are going through that road. I don't believe that in all cases autism will get to a point where you decline. I believe that there has to be something there that is, causing that decline. It's not the root issue. It's just that's the baseline of where that person is operating from the brain, and not the cause of mental illness, cause of cognitive issues in it itself. Now, there is potential opportunity that some are affected in the fact that executive decisions are lower than others, and that can cause some cognitive understanding challenges. So I believe that all people in autism brains are alike. So meeting one is not meeting them all. How I, run my life and process things is very different than my husband. My executive decision making skills are very much, in a higher than him. I understand how to budget and finance. He struggles with that. I do all that, for example. I'm a scheduler. I can handle that. He is not. And those are things that have been in the beginning of our relationship and for all as I know in him. Could he do a lot of other conversations and dialogue? He was a really good communicator. He was speaking, doing speaking engagements. He was talking with people, ministering to people. And now it's limited. He's able to pray with friends, but speaking engagements have not been really good. He used to get on podcasts. He was able to write books and share the gospel of Christ in the way that God has shown him how he understands it. And he has helped so many people in that way. And those writings have stopped. I'm putting them in a book with the book that we're writing together, but those things have stopped, and he doesn't have the ability to really get engaged in that. So it's very sad to see that, but God is doing something in it. He's positioning my husband, and I'm not going to forget that where he's at is where he needs to be. So be in company, good company, that you are positioned, your husband, your wife, wherever they are at, cognitively in the road of autism or, in general, they are being positioned for others to be compassionate and for them to reach out to their community that they are at. They're not incapable of still ministering. He's still ministering to me without even talking to me. And the little bit he does, it's still ministering. So be in good company, and you're not alone.